AP has just broken some new news. This has just come out from the Associated Press. This is incredible. Have been sending babies and other young children. Oh, hold on. Can we put up the graphic of this? I think I'm gonna have to hand this off. Yeah. Sorry. That does it for us tonight. We'll see you again tomorrow. Now it is time for the last word with Lawrence O'Donnell, where he is live in Brownsville, Texas.
Thank you very much, Ray.
AP.
So as you saw there, empathy does not have a skin color. Empathy does not have a religion. Empathy does not have a nationality. You could see this American woman, this American news presenter, how her heartstrings were pulled on by the sounds of those Palestinian children in Israeli prisons. Now some of you would say, oh, October 7th, October 7th, October 7th. This has been happening forever. Palestinian children arrested, put into administrative detention, they call it. What does administrative detention mean? They are held without a trial. There's no trial. They've not been put on a trial. They just held until who knows when, indefinitely, until the Israeli slow court system, slow system for Palestinians, until that system, results in the case going to a judge. And these people, the burden of evidence, against them, is very low. They could have been suspected of throwing stones, these children. There could have been an incident of stones being thrown, and then they just get rounded up without proof of who threw the stone, who didn't throw the stone. Even if someone was throwing stones, you'll say, oh, well, these children need to behave and so on. The fact is, these children did not decide on their own to be born in a system of apartheid where they are second-class citizens. These children did not choose to be born in a system where their parents, because of their race, because of their language, because they are natives of the country, their parents are humiliated at checkpoints. Their lives are made difficult. These children did not choose that. So even those who throw stones, even them, imagine how they would be treated in the West. The first consideration will be, take them to a psychologist. See why they're acting out like this. Our children, even older than these children, much older, where they're almost adults, still the systems in the West, gives them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe there's some psychological trauma they went through. Let psychologists be involved first before, sentencing them to detention. Yeah, they're not even sentenced. On suspicion, indefinitely held in prisons. Children, you can hear the voices of the children. And then what the world says, the world is like, oh, the Israeli hostages, the Israeli hostages. Do you know that the Israeli hostages that remain, and we're talking about those that are remaining in prison, imprisoned by the H group in the Gaza Strip, do you know that they are soldiers? These hostages, so-called hostages, are soldiers. They were captured from bases around the Gaza Strip. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not agreeing, disagreeing, saying that their capture was a good thing. But what I'm saying is, by international law, these are prisoners of war. These are not hostages. Soldiers who were based around Gaza, besieging Gaza from even before the October the 7th. So preventing food in, you know, the starvation today is on another level. But starvation, besiegement, restriction of life, stopping people from even fishing in their own waters off the Gaza Strip, preventing sufficient food from entering the Gaza Strip. This has been happening long before October 7th. So these people, these soldiers were captured there. We should call them prisoners of war. And I'm not saying we'd have no sympathy for them. You know, everyone we have sympathy for. Even, you know, when the Americans invaded Iraq, on a level of a human level, even those soldiers who were involved, you know, sometimes they didn't choose that their regime would order them into Iraq, and you know, so we can have some sympathy for even whether it be American soldiers placed in harm's way. So I'm not saying we're not sympathetic at all to the Israeli soldiers. But what I'm saying is your sympathy should first be with the children. First with the children. And don't find excuses to say, oh, they were throwing stones. Even if some were, and a lot weren't. But even if some were, treat them as children. They are children.